Hello and welcome to a Humble Highland Home channel, but I'm not actually at the croft today. I'm over at my parents' croft for the next day or two. We also have a couple of other family members here too, providing extra pairs of hands and lots of skills to try to help to keep on top of the garden space here. It is lovely to see and hear so much life about the place, and it's good for my folks. They just love to have us all here and disrupting their routine for a little while. My parents have lived here for a very long time, and so these areas have seen different uses over the years. This area was originally a chicken pen many years ago. Then it became part of my mum's veggie growing area, and then I took it over for a little while. I was incredibly grateful for the amount of learning experiences I was able to embrace in this area, and it's a great example of being able to use what you have in the situation that you're in at the time and making the most of the different ages and stages of life. Not only have I been able to spend some time in this garden with my own daughter when she was growing up, but today I've got my youngest granddaughter giving me a wee hand. That's 4 generations milling about in these gardens today. A lot of conversations and cups of tea have taken place over this very old gate, but as life changes and moves on, we have to change and adapt to it. So this area has been resting and has been embracing nature until its next purpose is realised. So when I made plans at the beginning of the year for my own garden at home, I was able to make a few plans for this garden too. I do love our cute little conversations in the garden. But I am quite surprised my granddaughter's not off looking for some bugs and beasties. No doubt that time will come. So the last time I was here, I cleared a small space to plant some pumpkins so they could ramble and grow wherever they want and take up as much space as they need to. I didn't have much time the last time I was here, so I just used a plastic cover to help to keep the weeds down whilst I was away, a little bit anyway. So my aim for this garden is to bring it back to life and to make it productive once again, but in a more simplified way. Gardens don't have to be high productive areas. They can be a point of interest, a place to share skills, swap ideas, or as I said before, a place to enjoy a laugh and a cuppa or a chat together over the fence. So that is the overall plan, but we also have to recognise we've only got so much time and energy, and of course other life commitments, so it all has to be kept manageable. And that's one of the beautiful things about working with nature and within the seasons. We can make it easier in the long run, but what are we but stewards of the land for the next generations? So I'd planted my 3 pumpkins, which I'd started off at home, and my dad had put a wire cover over them, as it has been known in this area for deer and other wild animals to come to visit, and the fences have gradually worn away, so the wire is a little bit of protection. We do have, as part of the plan, to re-establish the fences and maybe have a wee seat for everyone to enjoy, but one step at a time. Well, I did have a very keen little helper, but the old bath with the tadpoles and small frogs have won. That's much more interesting than helping me weed in this garden. And as I said before, my youngest granddaughter is very comfortable in nature and loves exploring and finding different bugs and insects. Meanwhile, back in the garden, the plan of the day for me is to clear around the pumpkins, then weed and level the earth at the edge of the garden before putting a double layer of membrane that we'd left over from the croft, and then add a thick layer of wood chippings to try to keep the weeds at bay. And it won't stop them coming in, but it can hinder them. I'm looking forward to getting to the point where I can see all the edges of the garden. We'll get the wooden posts replaced and the wire mesh put back up again. Meanwhile, I'll continue to clear the majority of the weeds out of here, and also we've got lots of trees that have self-seeded. They all need to be cut back and cleared. And also I want to open up the composting bays, which are at the other side of one of the fences, so that we can get that active again. But so I don't get ahead of myself, I'm going to focus on this corner first by leveling it before I start putting the membrane down and then the wood chip. This wood chip has been made using the branches from other trees in this garden, and we will be doing exactly the same. Next time I'm here, I'll get the wood chipper out, and all the branches that we cut off the trees will be chipped and returned to the ground in the form of the wood chip. This is about as much as I can do from this quarter of the garden. I didn't think I'd get it all done, to be quite honest, so I am very pleased that I have. So now it's time to tidy up all the weeds that I've bagged up, and then I'm going to turn my attention for a little while to the self-seeded small trees on the other quarter of the garden. I think it makes such a difference once you tidy as you go and you remove the bags, and the place just starts to look a bit more like a garden than a jungle. And it's always nice when I get a wee hand to do the tidying up bit. I'm spending the night here with my parents tonight, so I'm going to do a little bit more here, and then I'm going to go and spend some lovely precious time with them, and I will see you in the morning. Before I head off on this beautiful Sunday morning, I'm putting the wire mesh back over to protect the pumpkins. They may not have time to grow enough to produce fruit this year, but I will give them a chance and I will plan for next year. And given that I'm not here every day or every week, anything I plant has got to be able to look after itself, for the most part anyway. So with this in mind, this is not going to be a quick before and after garden makeover video where it is all made to look so easy. This is real life, doing what we can when we can, and hopefully making progress each time we're here. But remember that it's not always about the destination. It's enjoying the process every step of the way and the time that we get to spend with family whilst we're doing it. So as I head off back home after a lovely few days with my folks and other family members, I wish you all the very best. Take care of yourself and others, and I will see you back at a humble Highland home in the next video.